Yeah?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, it was a big old sigh. Hey, like I've run a marathon today, kind of. I'm just gonna sit here for a second and just
Yeah.
relax. Got to deal with me for an hour of your life this week.
I know, a whole hour.
Hi, folks. Welcome to our live stream. My name is Jim, and this is Dr. Tiff, and this is our weekly live stream talking about the field grade system. And if you are new to us, stick around. Give us an hour of your life. You're going to learn something crazy in this live stream. It might just be something that saves your life, or maybe somebody that you know's life. So stick around. That's a crazy, bold statement to make, but it's the truth. So my name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I love saying that I used to be a type 2 diabetic because I used to be. I have completely reversed type 2 diabetes. I just watched an interview with Dr. Nina Teicholz, like last night or the night before. Time kind of blurs together right now. But and in this interview, she was talking about how the idea, this concept of reversing type 2 diabetes was just gaining traction. The interview was in 2019.
Mm.
Less than a decade ago, and I would even go so far as to say 5 years ago, this was a chronic and progressive disease. You're going to have it for the rest of your life. And what we know today is that it's a completely reversible condition. But this live stream isn't really even about just type 2 diabetes. It's also about high cholesterol. It's about high blood pressure. It's about obesity. It's about kind of all the stuff. And so if you are struggling with any of those, then stick around for this. Give us 60 minutes of your ear, and this will help you. This will definitely help you. And so with that being said, I went to TikTok and have been able to meet a lot of people talking about this product, and I've been able to meet a lot of people like Dr. Tiff. And I've just seen a lot of people have amazing transformations. And so Dr. Tiff and I got together and started talking about, because she's got a similar story. She'll tell you about it in just a moment. But we started talking and saying, hey, we should do this live stream and put those people up front, have them tell their stories. And then, of course, Dr. Tiffany has the medical credentials to kind of explain what's going on and how does this thing work. So, Doc, tell them about you.
Hello. I am so excited to be here on another Wednesday. I just counted a blessing and opportunity to be able to share all this stuff we're learning about these products and being able to help so many people much more than I've been able to do for 20 years practicing medicine. So, board certified in family medicine. So I'm the doctor pretty much everyone sees, and I diagnose diabetes, blood pressure, high cholesterol. I'm the one handing out those awful labels, right? But I decided I wanted to learn more, do more, and I got board certified in lifestyle medicine, which is about going after the root causes of conditions. And once I fully understood that the root cause was insulin, there was no turning back. So I ended up getting metabolic health certified to be able to help my people reverse these chronic conditions, because you do not have to be bound by them. And so with that, I ran into somebody on Facebook because I just figured I got to start telling people about this stuff. And that was even before I knew about this stuff. I just got to start telling people the truth. And so I ran into a mutual friend of ours, and she said, hey, come look at these products. And like most of you, not even most of you, like some of you on there, you're probably like, yeah, that's a bunch of hogwash. Well, whatever. I took that hogwash and got off my blood pressure medicine, stopped having hot flashes, helped my brother get off of his insulin, who's Trulicity, his metformin, helped my mother, who's 73, with her multiple sclerosis, stop having to drag her leg as much and be free to wear her heels and play pickleball. That was enough for me. And I've been telling everybody ever since, been able to help as many people as I can. And look, teamed up with the Healthy Pitmaster, and we've been having fun ever since.
I was just sharing this out of my TikTok side of things. And that brings me to the point that we are live. I see Lucy's over on TikTok, and we obviously see a long stream of people on Facebook. But we're also live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on both Dr. Tiff's YouTube as well as my YouTube, Dr. Tiff's Facebook as well as my Facebook, as well as Twitter and Twitch. If you've never heard of Twitch or DLive, this live stream literally goes out to like 15 different platforms every single week. And there are thousands of eyeballs that see it every single week. And it's really kind of grown into something very special, Dr. Tiff. And I'm very thankful that week in, week out, you lend us your knowledge for just this hour. And to that point, I want to build on this a little bit. And I touched on it last week, but you don't talk about it enough. And I feel like I'm going to have to start pulling this out of you every single week. Dr. Tiffany is a coach for InsulinIQ.com. Tell people what that is, Doc.
So I've gotten metabolic health certification and certified with Insulin IQ. The great thing about that whole situation is that is actually started with Ben Bickman, Dr. Ben Bickman, who is the leading authority on the fat cells and insulin resistance. So you get to sit up under that type of person with that much knowledge. I mean, he has forgotten as much as I know. So, and not only that, it is free. That is a free membership to be able to get that education. Now, of course, if you want to get connected with a coach, that's a whole nother thing. But and then we have other coaches that even work with us that are also on there. And Lindsay Venn, an awesome physician's assistant that knows way more than I've forgotten too. I'm not afraid to say that either. So I just love being able to be in that type of environment with all those people that love to learn and be able to learn more and help my people even more.
Well, and that thing that's a big deal. So, and you mentioned Dr. Bickman. He is a professor of cell biology and physiology at Brigham Young University. And Dr. Tiffany is going to go into depth about what this insulin conversation really is about. If you're thinking, well, this has to do with diabetes, well, you're right and you're wrong.
Right.
There's a lot more to it than that. We're not talking about diabetes. We're talking about a much bigger problem. But Dr. Bickman, really specifically, he is in charge of Brigham Young University, BYU. He's in charge of their laboratory of obesity and metabolism. As in, he literally grows fat cells in a petri dish for a living. That's what he does. And so if you're interested in shrinking the fat cell, there's nobody better to listen to than Dr. Ben Bickman. And where I say that Dr. Tiffany is a coach for Dr. Ben Bickman, that means that he has certified her as being a voice for him. She kind of is an extension of him. And that's strong. And you don't give yourself enough credit, or maybe you do. Maybe you're just, I don't know, quiet here. Tiff, pat yourself on the back. We love you. Okay, so the way that this works, and I love this. I love doing this live stream every week because, first off, I love hearing the stories, Dr. Tiff. I absolutely love the stories. And I know who I've brought here. And I had a brief moment to talk to Kim, who you brought here, but I don't really know her story yet. I haven't even talked to her about her story. But I love these stories. These people are real people who started the program one way or the other and it's changed their life.
Yes.
And to that point, how did they find out about the program? They found out about the program through a friend or a family member or TikTok or something like that. And that's what this is. If you've been notified that if somebody shared this live stream with you, or if somebody tagged you in this live stream, that means they think that this live stream could change your life. Listen. Just listen, okay? And if you are one of the people who has had an amazing experience and you want to share this knowledge and you want to put somebody in front of Dr. Tiffany, this is a perfect time to do it. The way you do that, at least on Facebook, is type the little @ symbol and then start typing that person's name. And at some point, their name will pop up and just hit enter and it's done. If you're on TikTok, that little bottom, that little arrow, hit that share it to whoever it is that you're talking about. If you're on YouTube, just hit share and send it to them in an email or a text message or something like that. Get this word out there. And in fact, to that point, I want to encourage everybody who's listening right now, if you're on the system, I'm going to do two things here, actually. If you're on the system, I'm going to ask you real quick to give us just a 2-paragraph or a 1-paragraph, couple sentences. What has the system done for you? If you guys could just type for us in the comment section what it's done for you. And then I'm going to encourage everybody right now to share this with 5 people. Everybody who's listening, just share this with 5 people. Okay. So while we're waiting for those, Doc?
Yes.
Who's up first?
Well, I love Kimmy, Coach Kimmy. She's somebody who's a health coach and when you start loving what these products do, you start inviting your family in. She's been traveling and speaking and she has receipts. Okay. When I say that, she's got lab receipts. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. See, people want to act like, we don't have, no, we got lab receipts on what this stuff does. So I'm excited to hear what Coach Kimmy has to say.
Well, hi, Kimmy.
Hi. Good evening. I am so excited to be here, and I'm grateful. I love Dr. Tiffany. Jim, I been watching you, and I try to jump on it anytime, every time it's on. My journey is one that started. I've been a medical language specialist all my life for 4 decades. I've transcribed medical reports for one. That's what I've done, and so I've seen a lot of sickness and a lot of disease. And with the evolution of medical transcription coming about, then my job kind of went to voice recognition, and I decided that I would go ahead and go just a little bit deeper into it and help people as well as I help myself to be healthy. I wanted to see people healthy, and it begins with me. My journey, I met Beverly, Grandison, and Johnny, and when I met them and they shared with me this protocol, I'm like, I'm all in. It was a no brainer for me. This is it. This is what I'm doing because as far as me living healthy, I want to live healthy. Coming with the family history of my father was a type 2 diabetic, and he had peripheral arterial disease. He lost his sight at 87 um, from type 2 diabetes, just watching TV one day and just couldn't see. And he ended up with the peripheral arterial disease in his legs and had both of his legs amputated at the age of 92. So that was one of the most horrific times in my life. I've struggled with weight gain, obesity mostly, saying I'm pre diabetic. So those were areas I know that I wanted to, for myself, as well as my father, to not die that way. And that's my mission, or to see anyone else die that way. And that's when I really became, if I could say, vigilant about taking care of my health, as well as my husband who's sitting on the side of me, who's type 2 diabetic. So my triglycerides have come down since we started the program in protocol in June 10th, 2024. And my triglyceride levels came from a 172 down to I believe it was 97. I have to pull out my paperwork. His labs were 11.9 for his A1C, and 6 weeks on the protocol, they came down to 7.9. I said, we got something going on right here. Mm-hmm. We've been on natural whole food supplements, which we still take, but this is a next level, next step, because when it comes to eradicating disease, I'm all in. So I'm on a mission to reach the churches, reach people, to let them know that this is the way. This is the way. My energy level has shot up, and so is my husband, and he's sitting right there. And also my brain fog. I get up and I remember what I'm getting up for instead of getting up and forgetting why I'm getting up. You know, and my clarity, my mental clarity is greatly improved. I've lost weight when I started. I've lost about 10 pounds. Okay. I've lost inches and I have not regained it back. I fluctuate. Really, this has caused me to not gain the weight back, which I love that. So I'm able to maintain that weight. And my goal is to, as well as for my husband, is to get him off of those medications because he's on medications right now. He has come off actually 3 medications with the type 2 diabetes, and we're going to check again with the labs to just get healthy. I'm on a mission for us to get healthy, and this is the way. This is the way that I'm using to share with people all over the world, churches. I had an event, health and wellness, and I'm telling everybody. My mother just had a stroke August, and I placed her on my sister and my brother-in-law, both of them. They have a history of obesity, diabetes, sleep apnea. So I'm waiting to see just how they're going to come. They've gotten better. My mother, even, she came down with me. Her left side was affected from the stroke. Her foot was swollen, leg was swollen. I had her on sipping for just the one day that she came with me, and the swelling went down, y'all. I mean, I'm really excited about that. So I'm all in. I know my husband wants to say something real quick. Just tell him how you feeling, baby.
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, the feel great system is the way to go. You know, it gives you energy all throughout the day. You know, helps your brain clarity, helps you think better, helps you function better all around. You know, makes you feel good, and And then not only that, it tastes pretty good going down.
Yes, it does.
So, we're all in. We're excited. We just want to keep doing what we're doing and see if we can continue to get better every day.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Getting better every day. Flooding our body with the products, and hopefully continue to see positive results.
Yeah, we
I
are.
have a motto that every day I just try and wake up and be a little bit better today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that's just in life, but if I can do that with health and life and just in general, just try and be a little bit better today than I was yesterday.
That's right.
At some point, I'm going to be better. So
Yes.
Absolutely, that's a good mantra and a good attitude.
I love it. I didn't make that up. I took it from Coach Parcells of the football legend. I didn't make it up, but yeah. You guys are amazing.
Yes.
Dr. Tiff, I got nothing to say to that. That's amazing. I love the energy. You say that you've got more energy. I don't know what it was like before, but this is amazing energy. I love this energy.
Oh, he could be a couch potato. He's getting better. But now he kind of keeps up with me because I'm the one that really walks and stuff. But I had to kind of crank him up a little bit. So now I said, "Come on, honey, let's go. Let's get on the treadmill, or let's go walking, or let's do it." And he answers me a little bit better now. He'll follow and he'll get on that treadmill.
Told. I think he gets voluntold a lot.
No, I love it. I love this example because what it does is it shows the importance of having a buddy. Yes. So anybody who their buddy is not on this call, this is the time to tag them. There's so much power in us doing this together. That peer support is everything. That accountability is everything. You guys are so awesome. I love your story.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kim, if you wouldn't mind, what I want to do is and I know you're familiar with the live streams, but what I want to do is shut your camera off right now. But I want you to kind of stay backstage and allow us to bring you back out at the end of the live stream in case anybody has any questions for you.
Of course.
Or your husband. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. And while we're waiting, Dr. Tiff, I wanted to just touch on these really quick. There are a lot of people. So over on the TikTok, Jenny says, I asked the question to give us a brief little comment about what it's done for you. Well, Jenny says, no longer pre-diabetic, down 53 pounds.
Wow.
Sleeps better, more energy. She feels younger. Wonder Love 325 on TikTok says, no more skin tags, no more joint pain. Ari, A-R-I, says, chronic pain gone. Stacy's Quest. She was tagging somebody else. Tanya Lee, who's also over on our Facebook side, says, I put type 2 in my rear view and high blood pressure, off 4 meds, down 45 pounds, and reduced 24/7 oxygen therapy to nighttime only. That's an amazing story.
Yes.
And Stacy did say, down 30 pounds, no more IBS. I had that too. No more high blood pressure, depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
She talks about that a lot on her live streams. No more depression and anxiety, no psoriasis, and no menopause.
Yeah.
That's a crazy one, right? You know what? I haven't had any menopause either. Tanya says, skin tags, her dark patches are gone. That's called acanthosis nigricans. They're gone. Brain fog, cravings, all gone. Depression and anxiety is lifted. There's a second person talking about depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to that point, let's jump over to the Facebook live stream. I'm just going to go through a couple of those, and I hope everybody's kind of keeping up with those. Tanya says, lost 45 pounds, lowered blood pressure, no more joint pain from lupus. That is powerful.
Yes.
Blenda, we actually interviewed last August, I think it was. Something like that. She was on this live stream. It literally changed my life. And if you haven't watched that live stream, you should go watch that live stream. It was powerful.
Yes.
We love Blenda. And of course, here's Candace. I read her testimonial on TikTok. She jumped over. It's here on Facebook. Blenda, 68 years old, off all pharmaceuticals. Michael Martin. We've interviewed Michael. I think he was our guest last week.
Yeah.
And also our guest last year. Brought him back for a follow-up last week. 11 months in, down 119 pounds, 25 pills down to 3. reverse type 2 diabetes, no more CPAP machine. I didn't see CPAP. I saw CRAP. I was like, what is a crap machine? I was like, I don't know what that is. Sheena, reversed gastroparesis, insulin resistance, off cholesterol medications, blood pressure meds, menopause flashes are gone. There's another menopause.
Yep.
Sleep apnea is gone, lost 34 pounds. Sheila Nance, 53 pounds down. Fatty liver and chronic inflammation gone. Skin tags gone. Restless legs and pain gone. Memory fog gone. There's another person talking about the fog.
Yeah.
So much day energy. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, that was you. Just tagging people. Anyway, this is amazing. So, Dr. Tiff, and again, if you're unfamiliar with this live stream, the way that this works is we bring in a couple guests and kind of have them tell their story. But then we've got Dr. Tiff, who actually goes through and kind of explains, like, how does this magic potion work? What is it really doing?
We ready?
I'm looking at Lynette. Yeah, we're ready, but here's one more. One of my male friends at work told me I stepped up my game because I've lost weight. Listen to that right there. No more menopausal symptoms. There's another one, lost 30 pounds, eczema gone. And so somebody mentioned psoriasis earlier, psoriasis, eczema, more energy, sleeping throughout the night, brain fog. There's another one of those, more mental clarity. I love this. Okay, Dr. Tiff, tell us why.
I mean, you just want to stay on that because that is the most fun. That is the most fun of what we do. But, you know, it is important for us to kind of get an idea on what we're talking about.
I just missed it. Let me see. There it is. Here it comes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little lag. That's why I try to talk a little bit in the beginning. But you can see it, can't you?
Yes, I can absolutely see it.
Perfect. So the problem, the reason why I'm even talking about these things is that I love the weight loss. I love the decreased swelling. I love the quality of life stuff. But what I love is how we're helping people live longer. So 93% of Americans actually have a problem with cardiometabolic health. That includes a lot of things, and I'm going to go into that. So 1 in 3 adults actually have metabolic syndrome. And really, the drug that we use to prescribe to help this, we as in physicians, only really helps heart disease risk by 1%. 1%. And so what they did find is that if you make lifestyle changes, that can improve that by 39%. So it becomes a no-brainer on what you should use, right? And so I love this by the American Diabetes Society. Over 38 million of Americans have diabetes, and about 90 to 95% of them are type 2 diabetes. That was unheard of before. 1 in 5 people with diabetes don't even know they have it. And nearly 97.6 million adults are even affected with pre-diabetes. Now, I actually had to step up my game and even look at this some more. This is the number 1 cause of death, heart disease. But do you know it was the number 1 cause of death in 1912, according to the CDC? Did y'all hear me say 1912? I thought it was 30 years till I started doing some more digging. That's a huge problem. Clearly, we have not been addressing the issue appropriately. And so that's why I ended up trying to get into lifestyle medicine, going after the root cause and doing this whole metabolic health certification, coaching certification, because my patients were looking just like this woman in the top left here with all these drugs, coming to see me like she's going on a weekend getaway when I would have my practice. And so there had to be something to this. If we all have the same land, meaning our genetics, say we have our genetics, they're like the land, right? But how you take care of that land matters. So if you take great care of it, you can yield great crops. If you treat your land like crud, then you're not going to have great crops. And I believe that has a lot to do with these lifestyle related conditions. We are not bound by our genetics. We can definitely make a difference. So over half of the adults in the world are struggling with insulin resistance. That's at the center of all these things: the heart disease, the diabetes, the fatty liver, the polycystic ovarian syndrome. I mean, even things like the swelling and the joint pain, the autoimmune conditions we're talking about are definitely affected when we improve the insulin resistance. So it's important to understand the symptoms to know if you're even dealing with this. Now, considering the amount of people that are, if you find yourself on this page with at least 2 issues, yeah, you're dealing with insulin resistance. Cravings for sugar or salty, difficulty losing weight around the middle, constantly feeling hungry. Those skin tags, that is because of insulin overgrowth making those skin tags on your neck. There's a great study that shows if it's more than 5 or 6 of those, you're dealing with insulin resistance. Then you have the dark patches of skin on your neck, which is the overgrowth of the skin in patches, making dark patches. That's not dirt. You can't wash that off. The high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the high triglycerides, insulin resistance. The PCOS, the leading cause of infertility for women. Insulin resistance is at the root of that. So that way improving that, we're having women be able to have children. I mean, there's somebody I know of that just recently had a baby, and I know you know them too, Jim, just recently had a baby, and we're just starting to use these natural products we're talking about for 4 months after trying for years to be able to do that. To see this type of stuff happen is why we're so excited on these calls.
You know, Dr. Tiff, I did interrupt you, but she just had her baby like 2 weeks ago.
I know.
And we interviewed her. It was probably 2 months ago, I feel like. Her name was Chelsea. And I think, again, everybody should go back and watch that live stream. She was infertile.
Yeah.
They had said she was infertile. She couldn't have a baby. And, well, she just had a baby. And she would 100% attribute it to this system.
Yes. And that's what makes this so much fun. Then you have erectile dysfunction. I know my men don't love that idea, but if we get to the root cause, that actually can help without you having to take those dumb blue pills and the man boobs. You're not supposed to have those, people. So what is insulin resistance? Now, insulin is a hormone we have in our body, okay? And we're going to look at the function of insulin, how it delivers energy into the cells, the glucose, and it stores any excess glucose floating around as fat. So it helps to regulate blood sugar levels. In insulin resistance, this is when your cells don't allow insulin to get that glucose in there. It stops responding to it. And so if you look at insulin is the little black caricature of a man, right? Trying to push this glucose molecule into liver, muscle, and fat cells. When there's resistance, it can't get that in there. And so what causes insulin resistance? Having too much insulin in the bloodstream is part of that, right? And then what causes too much insulin? The things we eat and drink. Now, there's some other factors outside of this, but we're going to focus on the things that we have a direct hand in controlling, okay? And so it's important to think about, understand the macronutrients. So your carbohydrates in that top left there, that red arrow is the insulin response. So your carbohydrates are the red line. You see how that spikes up really high. That allows you to makes your pancreas have to release a lot of insulin. The blue line is your protein. So when you eat that, it doesn't have as much of an insulin response. And then the yellow line, that's your fat. So it barely makes you have to release insulin. And so if you look at this graph on the bottom, let's say the beginning of this graph, the start of that insulin level, that is when you first wake up. Okay. And so that's going to be a little lower because that has a lot to do with the fact that you've been sleeping all night, right? And so when you have your first meal, which is breakfast, and that kicks up the glucose level because you have your cereal or your oatmeal because you think you're trying to do good, or your bran muffin because you figure, that has some fiber in it. Yeah, it's got a lot of carbs. So it's going to shoot up the carbohydrates because of the glucose and allow you to have to make more insulin. Same thing with the snack, same thing with the lunch, the afternoon snack, the dinner, the dessert. And you keep those high levels of insulin bathing the cells, not allowing things to actually come down as well as they should. That adds to the insulin resistance. Now, our carbohydrates, in nature, they were really supposed to come with some fiber, come with some packaging. But because of what we've done with our food, we've taken that packaging away. And so your white rice does not have that fiber to protect or give it a dampening effect on the glucose spike. And that's why we need the fiber. That way it can decrease the blood sugar and then allow our pancreas to not have to release as much insulin, and allows our cells to then become more insulin sensitive, respond appropriately. And so I think too many times we put the focus on people not having the willpower, being lazy, not having the discipline, when unfortunately there is something sinister happening here. This modern food environment is not serving us. These packaged, barcoded, bagged foods has processed things in there, and it has additives, it has preservatives, it has colorings, it has things to make it addictive, to make it to where it is hard to eat just one. And then our brain is, I'm not going to say our brain Our brain likes ketones, but the problem is when you get that sugar in there, it's like it gives us a dopamine spike and we're looking for the next hit. That's why we feel like we can't eat just one. That's why we're reaching for that other breadstick in the bread basket. And then you know what? It's like it tries to taunt us. I mean, sometimes I swear I've heard it calling my name. I'm not by myself. The point is, it's not just on you. So having something to help is huge. And so I like to say these are the 5 things you can do immediately without anything I want to do to help, without anything, any tools I can give you. 1, trying to focus more on your protein and your fiber. That way you don't eat as many carbohydrates. That's my way of indirectly telling you not to eat as many carbohydrates, because nobody likes to be told don't do something, right? But the only thing I will say don't do is leave those processed foods alone. They do not care about us. They don't want us to succeed. Okay. So that is not for anyone to do. And your exercise, trying to do more resistance training. Move, period, if you are doing nothing. And then I talked about the fiber. We want more of the fiber because it dampens that glucose effect. We need that. That way it gives our insulin a little time to not spike up as much. And then fasting. Fasting is a huge, powerful tool that you don't have to pay for. You don't have to do anything for. You just shut down and stop eating. We shut down our phones. We shut down our computers. We shut down our TVs. Everything that's, that's smart, we shut it down. Time to shut down our bodies. That way we can tap into that healing power. And when you get past that 17 hours, you get into autophagy, where your cells start to rebuild themselves. It's like cellular cleanup. You improve your repair processes and you get rid of broken mitochondria, pathogens. And when you fast longer, you get even more results. And so how can GLP-1 help? Because for some people, they need help. I said those 5 things, and the majority of people need a little help doing those things. So our GLP-1 is a hormone that comes from our gut, actually. Not something you have to pay hundreds of dollars for, thousands of dollars for, inject. We already have this hormone, and it delays gastric emptying, and it allows you to feel full. It literally talks to your brain, your hypothalamus, your brainstem to be specific, and your brainstem ends up telling you, nope, you're not really hungry. Let's take a break. But unfortunately, because of the food we've been doing, how we managed our stress, how we don't sleep well, we actually have shut down this production. And so having something to boost this is huge. And so Big Pharma figured this out, and that's how they came up with the injectables, the semaglutides, and trying to get people that for diabetes. But then they realized, oh my gosh, people are losing weight. Let's make some money off of this too. How can we capitalize off of this? And they kicked up the dosages. In doing so, you start having these effects, but it comes with baggage. And when I say baggage, I mean the side effects. So, I mean, at what cost? Now, things like really important is 40% of your weight loss is lean mass. You can't get that back. You can't get that muscle and bone back, which is why so many people are like, oh my gosh, when I lose weight, I feel like I gain my weight and even more back. And then after 2 years, the reason why you're even taking these things is to turn off the food noise, the cravings, that starts to come back after 2 years. And then let's not talk about the weight gain. And this happens with crash diets too, but let's not talk about the weight gain, because you've lost so much muscle and bone. And then because of the weight loss, now you're inhibiting muscle growth. Yeah, you really are setting yourself up for an awful situation to where now you have more fat than you did before you started these things. So what do we do about it? I love the fact that chlorogenic acid, something that is actually not even man-made. This comes out of the leaves of the yerba mate plant that we use, but you can get it in green coffee, in teas, and some apples. But the point is, this chemical compound actually decreases those glucose spikes. And then it boosts your GLP-1 naturally, without the shots, people, without the side effect, without the baggages. And then it improves the insulin response. The great thing is with the ferulic acid, that even kicks up the GLP-1 response even more because it stops the breakdown of it. And that's some of the great things that we have with the tea that we use. When you add that to the fiber, it really becomes a no-brainer. And that's what has me feeling like a superhero, as well as everybody I get to help. When you hear everybody's stories, it sounds like everybody gets this and understands what we're doing here. So I'm Dr. Tiffany Marie. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I'm here all week. No, I'm just playing. I'm here next week.
Oh. By the way, I love the new slides with the cookies. You talking to me?
I know.
You talking to me? So you touched on, I mean, there's so many things that I can like dive into that with, but I thought you mentioned, we've talked a lot about Dr. Bickman, and you talked a lot about the T and then the GLP-1, and I'm going to go into a little bit of detail there. But I want to do a quick plug for Unicity events. And so this right now, this isn't just, you know, some off-the-wall type of product or something like that. This is actually really being backed by some very prominent people like Dr. Ben Bickman.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of you are familiar with Dr. Mindy Pelz. She's the author of Fast Like a Girl. She has over 1 million followers on YouTube. She does weekly podcasts. She's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And I encourage everybody give Dr. Mindy Pelz a follow. Obviously, give Dr. Bickman a follow.
Yes.
Dr. Jason Fung. Maybe you guys have heard of Dr. Jason Fung. He's, I believe, a 5-time best-selling author.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Diabetes Code, the Obesity Code, the Cancer Code, Life in the Fasting Lane. He's written cookbooks.
Mm-hmm.
He is a nephrologist out of Toronto, Canada, who really started exposing this thing, this insulin resistance thing, and helping people on a very natural path, intermittent fasting and a ketogenic diet. Anyway, Dr. Nina Teicholz, have you followed her much?
Nope.
She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. She wrote a book called The Big Fat Lie in 2014 that really kind of exposes, you know, the food pyramid and where it's at, and how we have as a society, we've been really compliant. Overall, if you look at red meat consumption is down, dairy consumption is down.
Yep.
Whole grain consumption is up.
Mm-hmm.
As a society, we've been relatively compliant with the food pyramid and with the food guidelines. And what are we?
Yeah.
We're sicker. Things are going up. And so she wrote a book called The Big Fat Lie, and it really talks about the demonization, if you will, of saturated fats. And, you know, in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, it was get away from saturated fats and do margarine, get to margarine.
Yep.
What a dumpster fire was that, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give a quick plug. In November, Unicity is doing, they're calling it the Americas Convention. It's the first ever convention of this type here in the United States. You have to understand that Unicity is global. They're in 63 different countries around the world, and they hold events all over the world. If you were to go into the Far East, these things are all the time. It's crazy. But in the United States, it's finally starting to gain some traction.
Mm-hmm.
And they're holding a convention here. It's in Orlando, Florida in November. And I wanted to just share this. Anybody is free to go to it. Anybody can attend it. You can go to this link. And Dr. Tiff, can you see the link up top?
No.
Unicity.com/USA/EN/Americas-convention. And I'll see if I can find a way.
I'll put it in the Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And so you'll notice they're going to be talking a lot about metabolic health and all that, but the guest speakers, look at this lineup. Dr. Ben Bickman, Dr. Mindy Pelz, Dr. Nina Teicholz, Dr. Jason Fung. There's still 2 more doctors to be, they're surprised, you know, who's going to come out and speak. But that really says something. I mean, there's a lot of very prominent people in this. We've got Dr. Tiffany, but there are so many other doctors and medical professionals and scientists that are getting behind this. So a little bit of a plug. If you are going down this rabbit hole, and it's a great rabbit hole to start going down, it's a fun one to go down. That would be an excellent place to be. If you want to get hot, don't stand next to the fire. If you want to learn, that will be an amazing experience. So I'll be there. Dr. Tiff will be there. There'll be a lot of people there. I would love to shake your hand. If you were there, I would love to shake your hand. Oh, Dr. Tiff put it down in the comments section. Let me go ahead and I'm going to highlight that for the people that are on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Take a screen grab real quick of that. Okay. So enough about that. If you are at that convention, come up and introduce yourself. I would love to shake your hand.
Me too.
Okay. So, Dr. Tiff, I want to bring out Jennifer here.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jennifer's story. I'm enamored with Jennifer. And so I'm just going to do this. Here we go. There she is.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm well. good to be with you all.
You too. So, Jennifer, I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but I want to just throw it out there. How did we meet? Where were you at with your health at the time? And where are you at now?
Well, I saw you before you saw me. I saw you on TikTok, of course. I had recently retired and never been on TikTok before. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna get on TikTok. Let's see what it's all about. And where I was frustrated. I have been insulin resistant, of course, with those other millions of people that don't know they have it. I knew I was walking the tightrope of prediabetes, pre-hypertension, cholesterol, numbers creeping up, obesity. And I was not feeling well at all. I have glaucoma. I got diagnosed with glaucoma at 40. I've had it for 22 years. I was probably one of their younger patients. So I've kept it, at bay for the most part. They've, treated it aggressively because I was so young. But it got to a point where, now I need surgeries, and I was having inflamed eyes. I mean, inflamed. And they couldn't figure out why. So I've been to so many doctors and specialists, and at last summer, I mean, they were just more or less throwing their hands up saying, we don't know what's causing the inflammation. So finally I got my nurse practitioner to get me to a rheumatologist because I did have arthritis pain. So I went to her and she said, of course, there is a tie between arthritis and inflammation in your eyes. So I said, oh, thank goodness. I finally found somebody who's going to listen to me or try to figure it out. So of course, blood work wasn't showing up. So she said, well, let's try Humira. She went down through the list of things. I listened to her. I said, okay, I'm just going to take a shot at it. The inflammation was so bad that I had to take prednisone drops to keep it at bay. And I really stopped working years before I wanted to. I just didn't want to sit behind a computer 8 hours a day anymore. So I just took 6 injections of the Humira, and it did help. But I got a really bad cold last summer, and I never get sick. Got the cold, and I knew that my immunity was compromised. And I said, I can't do this. At this point, I'm retired. I'm, can sleep as late as I want. And I was exhausted. I was so fatigued and falling asleep during the day. I didn't want to do that. I want to waste my life away. So was on TikTok, and I see your graphic of the insulin resistance, inflammation. That's really what stood out to me first, was the inflammation, and skin tags and prediabetes. And, I listened to you a couple of times and did my research and talked to my husband about it. And he said, if you want to try it, go for it. So got it and started drinking it. And within the first week, I lost 7 pounds. Now, I know that's water weight, but to me, that was like the valve had, opened up, and I just felt all that inflammation coming out of my body. So I remember the first time you called me, Jim, I was in tears because I was so relieved that something was helping. So I've been on it now for almost 9 months, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I went from a 5.9 to a 5.2. My My blood pressure is in within normal range. My cholesterol's coming down. My fasting insulin was 21 when I started. It was 11 when I had it checked, and I want to get it lower. My inflammation is better in my eyes. I'm not completely off my prednisone drops, but at least I don't have to take as many as I used to. My pressures in my eyes, my glaucoma have come down. I just feel like a whole new woman. I haven't felt this good in decades. It's just wonderful. I feel like I've woken up.
Hmm.
So it is life changing.
Yes, yes. That is awesome. They making me bring my pom-poms out of retirement.
Made me go get the tissues. And
Oh, and did
while
I mention I've lost 50 pounds?
Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, that is a happy side effect.
Yes.
so
I just
I
feel
came
great.
across something a while ago. It's been a while ago, and I'm admittedly very naive to this, and so I'm cautious. Please don't anybody quote me on this, but I believe they are calling glaucoma type 4.
I have seen some things, and I even mentioned it to my glaucoma specialist, and I told him what I was doing. And I didn't tell him the product, but I told him I'm on a nutraceutical and it's changed my life. And I honestly think that my glaucoma and my inflammation is from my insulin resistance. And he just had the blankest stare. He just looked at me like, what are you talking about? I mean, maybe he realized it. Maybe he knew. I can't say, but he just said, you just keep doing what you're doing because my pressures have come down. I have had 3 eye surgeries. I have two tubes in this eye, 1 tube in this eye, because the plumbing system in my eyes has clogged up from just too much fluid in the back of my eye. So,
I don't know if you can see all the love that you are getting on all of those different social media platforms. You're getting a ton of love. And that's what this thing is all about, is inspiring and that feeling of being hopeless and a feeling. I think too many people, they feel helpless and they feel hopeless. Jennifer, I love this story. Will you stick around for us and let me bring you back in about 5 minutes or so? I'm going to zip through how this thing works, how we use it. And then I want to bring you back out in case anybody has any questions for you. If you guys do have questions for Jennifer, start teeing them up. If you have any questions for Kim, start teeing them up. Dr. Tiff, start teeing them up. Yeah, you're getting a lot of love here. Okay, let me do that. Dr. Tiff, that was about put a tear in my eye.
Right.
We're cool. We're cool. It's all cool. Okay, so and somebody asked for this link here, so I just put it back up. Whoever it was that asked Dr. Tiff to put this up in the YouTube chat, just take a screenshot right now. There's the link to get to the Unicity America's Convention this November in Orlando. Come listen to Dr. Bickman, Dr. Mindy Pelz, Dr. Nina Teicholz, and Dr. Jason Fung. So far, there's still 2 more to be unveiled. Okay, how does this work? And I last week I went through, I believe last week I talked about Unimate, kind of the science behind Unimate. And I think the week before I did really a stretch on balance and BIOS life and the history of that. And in the interest of time today, I'm going to throw out a different question. I'm talking to everybody who's listening right now, everybody that's listening to this live stream, whichever platform you're on. How many of you have struggled with your energy throughout the day? Just kind of struggled with you go to bed, you get a long night's sleep, you wake up and you feel like you could sleep for another 4 hours, or mid-afternoon, you're like, I just want to take a nap. If I just go and take a nap, I'll be good to go. Or, the brain fog, it just never clears that energy, that lack of energy. And what do we do
Mm-hmm.
as a society? Maybe you don't do it, maybe I don't do it, but as a society, I think we turn to the junk. We turn to a Coca-Cola, we turn to a Mountain Dew, we turn to the Mocha Froca Latte thing over at the coffee joint. We turn to, and those things, by the way, are like $12.
Right.
You know, to get the Venti one with all the whipped cream and all the caramel and all that, it's like $12.
Yeah.
And it's just feeding the problem. Or we turn to a Monster or a Red Bull or something like that. Look at all the people saying me. There's a lot of people
That was
struggling
me
with
too. Yeah. I used to do those 5-hour energies, taking them back. That's
and
horrible.
so I want to like say, hey, in the 5-hour energy drinks, those are awful. You know, and so I understand there's a lot of people who are skeptical. They're sitting here saying, oh, yeah, right, this thing will do A1C, but okay, I get it. I totally get it. It seems unbelievable, and I'll grant you that. So let me frame this a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that unbelievable that a drink could give you a little more energy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is it that unbelievable that a drink could give you that more energy? And what if that drink was derived from yerba mate, a drink that for 1,000 years, the people of South America have said it gave them more energy? That's what it does. Yerba mate has historically, that's what it's done. And what Unimate is a very perfect version of yerba mate. It's derived from the same tea. It starts there, and they extract the good things out of it, like theobromine and chlorogenic acid and all sorts of things that we've talked about in this live stream that give you the benefits of lowered blood pressure, increased GLP-1, all these things. What if that tea could actually make you feel better? What if it could give you more energy? What if it could help lift that brain fog? Is it that unbelievable that a tea could do that? And I would say that it isn't.
Right.
It's not unbelievable at all. Now, walk with me down this path of pricing, okay? If you went to Unicity's shop site and just bought 2 of those boxes of that tea, that would be 60 packets of that tea. That would be the cheapest way to buy the product from Unicity, and that would cost $135 for 2 boxes. Well, that's expensive. I get it. But if you got 60 packets of tea for that, that breaks down to $2.25 per packet.
Mm-hmm.
We would spend that on a Coca-Cola or a Monster. In fact, you can't buy a Monster for $2. Mm-hmm. You can't buy a Coke. You can't buy a coffee. You can't do anything for $2.25. So when we really kind of reverse engineer it, $2.25 is an amazing value. We drink 2 per day. It costs $4.50. Again, you get 2 drinks that are going to replace the junk that you're drinking. They're going to give you that boost of energy. They're going to make you feel great. In addition, they've got all these other benefits, but let's just focus on feeling great. Okay, because that's a very believable statement. Maybe the reversing diabetes isn't believable. Maybe all the other stuff isn't believable, but feeling great from a drink should be very believable. And it costs $4.50 a day. Now, if you take that $135, the entire Feel Great kit costs $159. That means you get balance for $24. Follow my math there, Dr. Tiff?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what do we pay for Metamucil? You pay $20 for Metamucil, so pay $24 for balance. It's not that big of a jump to balance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, balance has been studied at the Cleveland Clinic and shown, and I quote, could potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. In fact, they went on to say such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis. The top heart hospital in the United States suggested that this product right here could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis. Could reduce heart disease for everyone for $24 more. So now we're talking about a very believable drink for $2.25 a piece and a product that could reduce heart disease for everyone. It costs $159. If you're here and you're thinking, hey, wait a minute, that sounds pretty decent. I think I want to try this. They offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. They guarantee you your money back. If you're not happy, if you, at the end of 90 days, if you don't feel great, that's an emotion. That is absolutely an emotion. If you don't feel great, ask for a refund. They'll give you all your money back. And then once you've tried it just to feel better and maybe reduce your risk for heart disease, maybe then you'll find out that, hey, you also lowered your A1C, your blood pressure, and maybe all of a sudden all those other things become believable because they happen to you. Okay. Do you like the way I framed that, Dr. Tiff?
Yes.
I've been working on that, how to get that out. Does everybody like that way? Just give me a yes or no if you like that way. Okay. So to that point, if you want to order the product, just get with the person who invited you here.
Yep.
They have a referral link that will give you a lifetime discount to the manufacturer. You're going to buy it directly from the manufacturer. You're not buying it from me. You're not buying it from Dr. Tiff. You're not buying it from the person that gave you the link. You're buying it from the manufacturer. They are the ones that will fulfill the order. Okay. It's that simple. If you want to try this, go into it with a 90-day mindset and get with the person who brought you here. They will tell you how to order it. They'll get you all squared away and you're good to go. Okay. So it's question time. A lot of people saying they do like the way I described that. I think I'm onto something. Do you like that, Tiff?
That was great.
Okay, here we go. So let's bring back our guests. And I want to really just kind of open this up for everybody that has any questions whatsoever. I'm going to leave that link up that Dr. Tiff put in the comment section. Guys, get to the America's Convention. It's going to be an amazing experience. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want to learn,
Yep.
and you want to help somebody, this is a great place to start. What questions have we got for anybody? And I'm looking across all the platforms. Sassy Minnesota girl over on TikTok saying both products taste yummy. Love that. And I guess while we're waiting, we got a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and ask this question, and I'll start with Jennifer. Jennifer, I know that there are a lot of people who are skeptical. They're looking at this like, yeah, right. Knowing what you know now, if you could talk to somebody, if you could give them, a little bit of your time, what would you say to that person that's skeptical?
I would say, don't wait. I wish somebody would have said that to me, 20 years ago. And maybe I would be feeling a lot better, sooner, but don't wait. Please don't wait. There's no reason, really, there is no reason to feel badly day after day. So just do it.
I love it. Kim, what about you?
People are sick. If you're sick and tired of being sick, then you need to do something about it. This works. This is the protocol that you need in your life.
That was mic drop. Okay, ladies, it is a quiet crowd. I don't see any questions coming in. I'm going to let you two off the hook. Oh, here we go. Let's see. How do you decrease your use? Oh, that's more of a Dr. Tiff question. I will leave you ladies in here if you don't mind sticking around. Veronica, I recently been diagnosed with high blood pressure. How do you decrease your use as your blood pressure gets better? Dr. Tiff, I'm going to pump that one to you.
Of course. So what I usually do is I tell my people, keep a log of your blood pressures, checking once a day, but you're going to be in contact with your provider. So I can't serve as your provider, and neither can the person you got the products from, but you're going to keep in touch with your symptoms. You're feeling lightheaded, dizzy, and talk to your provider. Hey, this is happening. Clearly, I don't need as much blood pressure medicine. What's your thoughts on that? And most doctors are going to say, oh, those are the readings you have? Yeah, doesn't sound like you do. Let's make some adjustments. So that's a real simple fix. That's pretty much how I teach my people.
Love it. And I'm glad that I feel like I would have answered that exact same way. So I love that. Talk to your doctors. We are not doctors. I don't pretend to be a doctor. Well, I shouldn't say we aren't. I'm not. Jennifer isn't.
I am, but I'm not your doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to go ahead and let you off the hook. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in and sharing for sharing your experience with us. Thank you for hopefully motivating somebody to give this a shot. And thank you.
Yes, thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Good night.
We enjoyed it. Thank
Good
you.
night. All right, Dr. Tiff. That was an amazing one.
It was.
I like that. I like that. Next week. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Same bad time, same bad channel.
I guess we should have some closing remarks before we go. I know I just kind of wrapped it up, but what would you say to people as they're listening? Oh, here we go. Coach Chef Kiki. Can I still drink protein drinks like the Premier shakes with this protocol? Do you want that or do you want me to?
Go ahead, Jim. Take that.
Okay. Yeah, you can. You can. And in fact, I'm actually drinking our, you know what, a little plug here. I'm drinking our LC Pro and Stronghold. I don't know if you guys have tried the Stronghold yet or not. Stronghold's amazing. If you're on subscription, you can get Stronghold. It's a Unicity Labs thing. It's not completely released yet. It's only released to people that are subscription customers. And so I'm drinking Stronghold and LC Pro, which is kind of our protein drink, and it tastes amazing. Put those two together with a little bit of kefir, kind of yogurt thing, and it tastes delicious. However, I am also going to say that I don't do this very often. Amanda and I are getting ready to travel tomorrow, and we're doing the live stream here, and I haven't even started packing yet. And so we're going to get done with this live stream, and I'm going to go upstairs and go to packing mode. And I'm probably going to blow right through dinner. And so tonight's one of those times when I wanted to get something in me, and I just don't think I have time for a regular dinner, but I do it kind of sparingly. It's not something I do every single day. What we want to do is get to whole foods. Eat whole foods. Eat whole uncut meat. Eat vegetables. Eat whole foods, real food, and avoid the processed foods. And even our beloved products, these are processed foods. These are not whole foods. And so, yes, you can. In fact, the Unicity, I'm going to double down on this too. The Unicity's guarantee, the 90-day money-back guarantee, has nothing to do with any sort of diet whatsoever. Unicity says that if you simply insert this product into your daily routine, you're going to feel great. And if you don't, ask for a refund. It has nothing to do with food choices whatsoever. If you want to make a healthier living, if you want to say, okay, I'm going to apply this to a new lifestyle, then we start saying, okay, drink those protein shakes occasionally. Don't make them a staple. Actually eat food.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Dr. Tiff?
Oh, I agree.
Okay, so Stronghold, we got a question. What is Stronghold? It is a new product. It's being tested right now by Unicity. They put it out. It's not readily available yet. It's available to the subscription users. You can get it through the shop, get with your sponsor, and they can steer you towards the shop to order it if you're on subscription. But basically what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to increase fat burning and muscle retention simultaneously.
Yep.
In a nutshell. And it tastes really good at the same time. So
I'll get with you, Sherry, if that's what you want to find out more about.
Okay, and I think we got one more. Did this help you with blood pressure? And then we'll wrap it up.
Yes, it did. After a couple of months, I was no longer having to be on my blood pressure medicine. And I actually did whole food plant-based for like 6 months. Lost 30 pounds, but my blood pressure was just laughing at me. So it wasn't until I really got on these products and I figured, oh my gosh. Yeah, it did. Me and so many others.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Dr. Tiff, you're amazing. And we will see you same time, same place next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
I'll be doing that from the beaches of Florida.
Oh, so jealous. So jealous. Yep. Great show, Jim.